So the premise is if they win, right? So if they win, they will have beaten Seattle, who is right now a playoff team, one of the playoff teams that would have a better record than them, potentially have to go there. They've already beaten Dallas, right? Who is a team that you could possibly see in the postseason. Philly, they haven't played this year, but they played them in the playoffs last year, and they trounced them there. So who else are we talking about? They'd have to go through Minnesota. Do I believe Tampa could give Minnesota problems in the playoffs? Absolutely. The Giants, give me a break. Of course. San Francisco is the one team that I think actually would give Tampa the most trouble because of their defensive front. Dallas obviously could do similar defensively, but they have beaten Dallas. And San Francisco would have to go to Tampa because Tampa right now is the division leader. And with Atlanta looking like it's going to fall apart, I think Tampa's a pretty damn safe bet to win that division. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that Tampa is going to be a very scary team come playoff time. And if they beat Seattle and then have the bye this coming week, they could become a scary team before playoff time, Geoff.
They're a scary team to me if their offense gets better. Like, if they don't score and beat Seattle, the same worries still apply. They won't score 22 points, the highest this year, right? The offensive play calling, not very good. They can't catch footballs. They can't block anyone at certain times. There's a lot of dysfunction. They question the effort this week, Tom Brady and Byron Leftwich. So to me, if they win 16-13 like last week, the issues still apply offensively. Like, you have to, in the playoffs, be able to do multiple things. We know they can play defense, but can they score enough points to beat the Eagles or the Cowboys or anyone else in the playoffs?
Yeah, they need an impressive win to really convince me. I agree with a lot of what you said. Just the NFC, I don't think is great. The three best teams, San Francisco, Dallas, and Philadelphia, have not questions at quarterback, but,
unproven.
Unproven or young or Jimmy G is just pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Not bad, pretty good. Right. So Tom Brady, you would take him over any of those guys just because he's Tom Brady. So I'll still think they're alive. They're clearly getting in the playoffs because, as you said, Atlanta's falling apart. Right. But I do need to see more. You mentioned catching the ball. They lead the league in drops. And this Seattle team, look, Nick thinks Seattle's great. We'll get to this, ladies, in love with their quarterback. I'm not going to I expect them to beat Seattle. I mean, Seattle's already lost to two teams in the division with Atlanta and New Orleans that Tampa Bay beat. So I'm not as high on Seattle as some on this table. And we'll get to that. But, yeah, come on.
The
they
shadow
blow Seattle out to get me
of Tom Brady's greatness is cast over every bit of optimism around the Bucs. So let me rephrase the question for you. Do you believe that a team that can't run the ball at all is a contender for the Super Bowl?
Yes, because Kansas City at times can't run the football, and they're a contender for the Super Bowl.
And the Bills can't run the ball except for with their quarterback.
But they don't run. The Bucs run 60 yards a game. That's their bet. Last week, they threw the ball 58 times, and they ran for 51 yards. It is a recipe for unsuccessful and losing football.
The problem with Tampa Bay is not the yards, in my opinion. It's how they run the ball. First down. Second down, throw the ball. First down, second down, throw the ball. They run plays that do not work. I don't think they self-scout.
Which I totally agree, and I do wonder if the fact that last week the two drives they moved the ball effectively were both in the 2 minute, the very end where they had to pass, if maybe that will be the moment for Byron Leftwich where he realized, you know what, we need to be a pass-first team. We need to pass to try to set up the run rather than what they've tried to do, which is run to try to set up the pass.
Maybe.
Wow, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, man. You just really want this team.
I just go like this. I go on to the stats, and I click it, and I look at the worst, and I say, that's not good. The worst.
I'm a simple guy. Throw the football.
And I'm also grinding, and then I grind the all 22.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I don't just do that. I also grind. I'm out there grinding. Okay. On the other side of the ball, Seahawks.
Let's
Geno currently has the sixth best odds to win MVP. Brew? Would a win thrust him further into the MVP conversation?
I mean, at some point, how long is the conversation? I mean, after a while,
right
as
now
it goes
he's the
on
sixth
and
best
on,
odds.
Eventually we'll get to Geno Smith.
Why are you anti-Geno?
I'm not anti-Geno.
Mad because
I just don't think he's going to be this superstar quarterback going forward.
Nobody. No.
You got to hear the backstory.
That is not. No one has said he's going to be a superstar
You had him ahead of Tua. in the MVP
Yeah,
race.
Tua's missed
Yes.
35% of the season.
Look,
That's correct.
Obviously Mahomes, obviously Micah Parsons, Jalen Hurts. I got Tua ahead of him because they're 6-0 when Tua starts
he's
and
missed.
finishes.
There's been 9 games. He's missed 3 of them.
If he plays the rest of the season and
They go
keep winning-
undefeated?
well, let's say they lose a game with Tua, and with him, what would that make them? 13-1 when he plays and starts.
Okay, well, let's see that happen. That would also mean they might sweep Josh Allen because they've already beaten him once. But hold on, the Geno stuff is all about priors. It's all about what helps him and hurts him to a degree. What helps him is Seattle is one of 2 teams in the league this year that has already hit their over for projected wins from the season. They were projected to win 5.5 games this year. They're already at 6. It's them and the Jets.
Is it a team award? Or
no.
What's he doing that's so
Okay,
spectacular?
well, he's number 2 in the league in rating. He's number 2 in the league in touchdown interception ratio. He's number 1 in the league in completion percentage. He's number 5 in the league in yards per attempt. So he is playing.
He's number 13 in yards per game.
Yeah, because they're not throwing it that much because they
know their quarterback is somewhat limited.
It's because they're Seattle and they don't like to throw it as much. That's why Mr. Quite Limited had to get out of there, had to fly the coop. Let me tell you something, America.
They would have been better off.
Brew loves an underdog. Brew loves guys that have fought and clawed for their opportunities and then are showing the world that they can be something. Geno should be Brew's guy, but because he's the new husband and Brew was best friends with the ex, he can't like him. I didn't know
that's the backstory.
The backstory is that Brew loves Russell Wilson. Geno, by any metric.
But Geno's doing better. Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
He's having a better year than Russell Wilson. I'll give you that. That doesn't mean he's the MVP.
No,
but he's in the discussion.
He's absolutely.
Yeah, late
he's
in the discussion, deep down in the discussion.
Yeah.
Right.
Around dessert.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's get dessert and talk
deep
about
down
it.
is what, like 13th? Like, where's he at in your mind?
I mean, 6th, 7th.
Well, that's where he's at now.
That guy's not getting a vote, though. Is he going to get an MVP vote?
But you only get one
right
MVP
now, there's
vote.
only one.
So
Yeah,
it's
they
going to
don't
go
do
to
a
15 in
ballot.
Kansas City.
But some of it will be split. You'll have Mahomes. You might have a few Allen if he gets back soon.
Right.
You might have Mike. You know what I mean?
Micah's not getting an MVP vote.
You don't think one?
I don't think he'll
Really?
get any. No.
Any.
Defensive
He'll win
players.
Defensive Player of the Year. He's outstanding. Don't get me wrong.
Right,
but
right.
He's not. If they continue to win too, the attention will turn back to Dak anyways. So he won't get an MVP vote.
Right.
But
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
And you brought this up yesterday, like a Heisman moment.
Yes.
Like guys kind of need moments. Do you think that Geno could have an MVP moment with a win over Brady and like an early game that at least the East Coast will be watching?
I think the issue is that there's another 13 games after that. Like if it was a Sunday night football game and he had that moment, we would play it all Monday and talk about it. But because it's so early in the day, that he could have a great moment, and then by 1 o'clock, it's all forgone when the new games come on.
I think that a guy with a 107 rating, 15 touchdowns, 4 picks, 8 yards per attempt, completing over 70% of his passes for a team that everyone thought was going to be terrible. And one of the reasons is because they thought the quarterback was not going to be good. In any scenario, would be in the MVP conversation. In any scenario, that guy.
You know what he is? He's the most improved player. How about
Okay, that's not an award in the NFL.
Yeah,
so
we'll make
comeback
player of the year.
Comeback player of the year.
He's in the run. I mean, there's a lot of guys
Yeah, I mean,
for that.
Saquon maybe.
Right, but that's what he is.
Can you get a budget for the most improved player trophy?
Yeah, I mean, he might be that. There's somebody gives.
You know what he deserves most credit for? Not being Russell Wilson, because that's what they needed. In
Are
Seattle.
you convinced
That's what
he's
we're
going
in
back to
commercial
a
break.
pumpkin?
We're in the
I
commercial.
think he might still turn into a pumpkin at some point this year.
I'm convinced he's not.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.